guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another First Division review show. You're going to have to excuse myself today because there's a bit of a sore throat, so I better get that out of the way, Gavin, so people don't think I'm just being, I don't know, unenthusiastic or something, but I do. We're after having a laugh about it there before we're going on. So this is actually take 50, by the way, guys. Gavin, what's the crack?
Hi, Keith. How are you? Good to see you.
Oh, grand. And yourself. I haven't been on this actually for a little while. Yourself and Keith have been keeping the show going, which is good as well. It's good to mix it up, I suppose, as well. But we'll start off with Cork, but not Cork City. Down in Cove, where Cove beat Bray Wanderers by 3-1. Bray Wanderers took the lead. Burn penalty on 28. Young Hegarty, 33. Desmond, 55. And Connell with a late one on 88. It's a massive result for Cove. First win for Shane Keegan at the club. Keith's not here today, unfortunately. He's gone away for a few days, and I'd say he's delighted with that because, Bray, it just gets worse and worse for Bray, doesn't it? It's not good for them at all.
Yeah, Keith, I thought Bray would get the result here, but it was some win for Cove to get a result at home. But apparently, Keith, there was onto a friend of mine who was at the game, and Cove had been playing a 3-5-2 system, but they reverted back to a 4-5-1 for the game the other day. And it just apparently worked out perfectly for them. They weren't exposed, and you say I don't think they have the players for the 3-5-2 anyway. So obviously Shane Keegan has recognised that in the last couple of games, and apparently they were very good the other night. So I suppose that from Cove's point of view, it was about picking up 3 points, but so Bray will be disappointed not to come away with a result down there, anyways. Especially the way Cove are going, you know.
No, it's great for Cove because I know Shane Keegan did a few interviews after matches and that, and he's very honest. That's what I like with Shane. He said, look, we're trying a few bits and pieces here and we'll see how they work. I think in the first game that he managed, I can't remember what system they played, but he said it didn't work and it was on him. But this is, that's refreshing to hear, I think, from a manager as well. We changed it to the second half and things work better and that. But obviously he's still playing around with systems and trying to find what can work, which is probably right because the position they are on the table anyway, they're not going to affect the playoff spot. So he really can experiment, can't he?
100%, Keith. Yeah, sure. There's nothing to lose from, and this is the time to. And I suppose that it's obviously taken him a couple of sessions and stuff to figure out. And I suppose he's been unlucky too. Like John Kavanagh was back, at right back.
Yeah.
And to be fair to John, when he's not injured, he's very good. And he was back in the first 11 the other night. So I suppose he missed John for that couple of weeks. And so this is the time to be kind of messing around with your team and seeing who's good enough or who's up to the standard and stuff like that. So hopefully, look, they'll pick up a couple of results, except the cup game next weekend against us down there. But it'll be a great boost for him and confidence booster for the cup game next weekend in Coleman's Park.
Yeah, and from Bray's point of view, they look like they're not going to get into the playoffs at all. And that would have been disappointing because they would have targeted the playoffs this season. They're 12 points behind Treaty there. And Treaty was actually a game in hand. But it's a difficult one for Bray because, obviously with last season, at best you could argue they're in transition, with the Cabot-Bray merge and Devlin's gone back there and all that kind of stuff. But I suppose some of the issue is the fact that Devlin is essentially, he's the manager, but his job, you know what I mean? Most managers' jobs are on the line at some point, which just feel like his isn't because he essentially controls everything that goes on there. I'm not sure that's a good thing for a football club, though, if I'm serious about it.
Oh, not a hope, Keith. That shouldn't be happening at all. His job is to manage the team, and that should be it. And you should have other people involved with other parts of the club. And if he's there like that and he's that much control, there's no hope for him really. You can't do that at a club at all. And sometimes you have too many chiefs and not enough Indians. But I'd say the chief here is just, he's in charge of all the Indians, which is the wrong thing as well. You have to have a bit of balance, and it's their own downfall if that's the case there.
I think some of the Indians will support him no matter what, that kind of way as well, which can be an issue. We'll move on though, and we'll go to Waterford and Longford. We finished Waterford FC 1, Longford 2, and Waterford had that run. We spoke about, remember when they had the run where they went 8 games winning? We said, yeah, but they have to do that and keep winning to just not even keep in touch with Galway and Cork, but almost to keep the same gap. And it was going to be impossible that they're going to be able to keep winning. But the fact is now they've gone on a mini dodgy run and, it's knocked them back. And I always felt that was coming. The new manager's gone in there as well. Up and down with results, but they took the lead in this game after 17 minutes through Griffin. But late goals from Andy Amos first for Longford on 83, and Verdon deep into stoppage time gave Longford the win. Now Waterford will point to the sending off from 44 of Wazim, which looked harsh. I don't know if you've seen it. I just seen it, but replayed the actual red card. Now, it didn't look like a red card to me, but then again, I don't see it. I see it from the far side. He gets sent off for apparently hitting out at the Longford player, but the Longford player, I can only see the Longford player, if you know what I mean. I don't see what the Waterford player does. It doesn't look like there's much in it, but I can't fully see it. But I know the Waterford fans are very angry about it and the officiating in the games. It'll be interesting to see what they say in the comments. But ultimately, it's a bad defeat for them. It's a good win for Longford because it brings them back into fourth. And I think Cronin was under a bit of pressure here, to be honest, after a bad run. But like Waterford now and Longford, I won't say safely can say, but it looks like they'll be in the playoffs and they're going to have to build for that. But disappointing result for Waterford and a top win for Longford, really.
Yeah, and like myself and Keith Renner, when he's saying last week that, like we say, Longford's last win was against Galway. So it's funny in that sense that they go away and they beat Galway, then they don't win for 5 or 6 games, and then they come away and they go away to Waterford and beat them. And like when they run such a bad run, you kind of, I was nearly expecting Waterford to pick up the result anyway at home. But again, like that's Longford, like, because as I said, like between the two of them, internals cross Longford were the better team that I thought organised when they played Cork City. So yeah, delighted for Longford, and it's a great result as well. It just, as you said, puts them back up to fourth, and no, it's as I said as well, in the league sense, it's great because you've all those teams beating each other, you know, so you never know what's going to happen from week to week with results. Like, and I think that's a great thing with the league. You're not kind of just looking at the league and saying, "Oh, sure, I know who the top 5 or 6 are going to be and the rest," but everybody's beating each other, and it's great. It is great. It's because it gives you something to talk about every week, and it's great to discuss it, you know.
No, it is. You say everyone's beating each other, but Galway and Cork don't have too many problems there. And obviously Galway won 3-1 at Athlone at the weekend. And they were in trouble in this game. Manley scored early after 80 minutes, the second goal in 3 appearances for Galway. But a late goal from Spain on 87 looked like it nicked the point for Athlone, and Cork would have been celebrating that. But Galway hit back with 2 goals late, which was just shows testament to their character. Franz Leland Bothwell scored on 90 minutes. That's his second of the season. He's come back obviously after an awful injury last year, and Dimas finishing it off at 3-1. But it's not easy, is it? I know Athlone are poor bottom of the league, Gavin, but there's pressure coming into these games, and Galway and Cork would feel like they have to win every game. It's not easy to let in an equaliser with 3 minutes to go and to show that wherewithal to come back and actually get the 3 points, because that's a sucker punch. And you have to mentally switch that off straight away and somehow find a goal. And you have to give them credit for that, don't you?
Oh, 100%. Jeez. When I saw it, I was saying, God, I'm waiting to make it. And especially with our result in Wexford. And, you know, as I said, our game was a tough game. And I was saying, what I kind of, myself and Keith Ryan were saying last week, that we expected that, like, Galway to hit that on for 4 or 5, maybe even, you know, and then this happens, and you're kind of going, okay, this is a bit strange. But then you, like, that's testament to Galway then, and it's testament to John Caulfield, where you just don't give up, especially at the 87th minute, and then you're going to wait to get 2 late goals on in the game. But fair play to Galway for picking up the 3 points. Obviously, I'd say if that was a draw, I wouldn't like to be in the dressing room afterwards, but I'd say he still probably gave him a good old rollicking after the game, I would say anyway, like to see late on in the game. But you know, they have to keep their keep in touch and distance, or stay with City if they want to, you know, try and win the league anyway as well, you know.
So Gavin, Athlone Town will obviously be disappointed with that. You know, their performance has been very good actually in the last few weeks, to be fair. They picked up a win there. As I said, they'll be disappointed, but they nearly nicked something off Galway here as well, and they just have to keep going. Like Lulu, I think, has been very good for them this season, despite their form. He's done very well, but at the same time, you think, how are they going to keep him now next season, you know? But yeah, they just have to keep on keeping on, don't they, really?
That's it. You know, it's tough down there, and it's kind of, you know, it can be heartbreaking at times, and it's tough, and you're looking every week and you're saying, oh God, who are we playing this week? And you know, it's an awful way to be. But like, they can definitely take heart from the result away to Galway. Like, I mean, without being disrespectful to Athlone, but you'd be wondering, are they going up there thinking like we might get a result here? They're going up there thinking like, oh, we need to try and keep this down, and there could be a cricket score, but they'll come away with it afterwards, and they have to be confident after that result, because I know it's obviously the last 3-1, but the whole Galway and equalising the 87th minute, like, you have to look back at these sort of games and try and build confidence on it. And as you said, look, like with themselves in Cove, it's just about finishing out the season and try and build and try and sort things out for next year. And especially when they never got a manager in after Martin Russell, they obviously need a bit of organisation, and you need to get things sorted here in Athlone. And hopefully, look, next season will be a better season for them.
Yeah, so finally finished Wexford FC 0, Cork City 1. Hoonihan after 5 minutes, so very early goal here. We were talking about this game actually in the WhatsApp chat, and I was saying that I think this is a serious banana skin for Cork. I just had this feeling that Wexford might nick something. So this is a very good result for Cork, isn't it? To go to Wexford, an informed team, win the game, and obviously only one defeat still this season, which is incredible after 22 games. Yet they can't see off Galway. Most teams at this point, if they'd lost one match, they'd be home and home. It's a bit like Shelburne last season, to be honest with you. But it's a very exciting, challenge, if you like, between the two of them, because the two of them, we'll talk more about Cork, obviously, but the two of them are showing all the hallmarks of league champions, and that's fantastic to see, because you don't get that often from two teams. But yeah, great result for Cork to go down to Wexford and get those 3 points.
Oh, definitely, Keith. And like as you said in the chat, I was dreading this before. I had been to the first game down there, and City won at 1-0, and it was a huge 3 points, and then there was a draw in the cross in the second game. And I was saying to myself, like, this weekend could tell a lot with City. Like, I suppose from that point of view, told their character and see could they pick, and especially scoring early in the game, and then having to see the rest of the game, and looking at the highlights, like yourself as well. They're like Wexford had their chances, and well to hold on, and David Harrington made 1 or 2 very good saves in that game. Great to see him back in goal. But it's like, I came away and I was like, whoa, that's a big 3 points. And like I said as well, if, as I say, touch wood, if City win the league, I think that game could be the game, because it's so hard to go to Wexford and pick up the 3 points. And as you said, it was potentially a banana skin. So it's a massive 3 points for him. It's huge. And look, hopefully we can keep winning games, and that's the most important thing. But it's great to see, look, for the league in general, it's great. And like as I said, Keith, about last week with the Galway game and the cross, like, I mean, it's a great advert for League of Ireland Soccer when you have 6,000 fans watching a first division game. But it shows the interest that's there in the first division this year. And as you said, the two teams are just, every week they're going at it week and week, and they're winning games, and it's a fantastic advert for first division.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, there's only a point between them. I know Cork have a game in hand, but there's no guarantees with games at hand. I think that one might be against Waterford as well. So you just don't know exactly. You just don't know. And anyway, as well, that's a good few weeks anyway. So bits and pieces can change, can't they? I think there's fixtures in between, isn't there? So I think there is. Yeah. So that can change. But yeah, from my point of view, in the sense an outsider looking in as such, like, it's a great battle between Cork and Galway, and it's very enjoyable. And every week, both teams, they can go out and beat a team 4-0 and just completely dominate, or they can do what Galway done at the weekend and look like they're in trouble and pull it out of the fire. And Cork have done that as well, to be fair to them as well. And that was the question mark I had about Cork at the start of the year. I knew Galway would have that. I wasn't convinced, and I think most people, yourself, probably weren't convinced either, that Cork had that side to them. But they clearly have shown that. It would be interesting when it comes down to the last number of games. Those nerves come into it, and who can hold their nerve? That might be the key aspect of it. I don't know, but it's just a phenomenal race at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, and I suppose if you look at going back to last week's game there, Keith, the first 20 minutes, City were very nervous against Galway, and when you, I suppose, look, it just shows at the end of the day that you're a human being at the end of the day, and obviously they got nervous with the crowd. And like, if City are going in with 2 games to go and there's still a point between them, and like the cross has 4,000 or 5,000 people, it can happen again. And I think that'll prove then, with the nerves, are they able to, do they have the mental strength to pull off the result that they'd need, to either win it or come runners up. And it just shows that, you, like as you said, and I was the same to start of the season myself, Keith. I didn't know whether they'd be did have that in him, like, to be fair, but which is great. They've proved me wrong as well. And, you know, no matter what, I think he's so far, and it's been an outstanding season for Cork City, you know.
Yeah, absolutely enjoyable. We'll leave it there, Gavin. Thanks for coming on. Guys at home, let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe, hit your bell notification button, and we'll talk to you later. Good luck.